Hi. It's Tuesday, June 18th, and ah, I'm feeling very sensitive, tender, emotional today, and really feeling in tune with what's happening astrologically. We have a lot of water in the current chart, and the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces are the signs associated with our emotions, our intuition, our ability to sense and perceive the unseen. So intuitively, spiritually, soulfully, um, what we're feeling or perceiving. Um, we this week is the summer solstice. On Thursday, the sun will move into the sign of Cancer, which marks the beginning of the summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. And um, we had we have a preview of Cancer energy because Mercury and Venus moved into the sign of Cancer yesterday. So we've got a lot of planets in water signs right now. So currently, Mercury and Venus in Cancer. The moon today is in Scorpio, which often is a time of the month where you might feel like you're tapping in more deeply to your emotions, or you're feeling the power or the strength of your emotions, or the intensity of your emotions, or you might feel like extra emo or extra moody on Scorpio moon days. Um, right now, the moon is in conversation with Saturn in Pisces. So the third water sign, Pisces, is where Saturn is and where Neptune. And the moon is in a trine, or that easy flow of energy between Saturn and the moon, between Pisces and Scorpio. And to me, this speaks of um, emotional responsibility or maturity, emotional maturity. How do we take our emotional life seriously? Um, the Cancer planets are at the very early degrees of Cancer, kind of just starting to feel into that. What is it to be um, sensitive to and perceptive of? What we're feeling, what we're needing. Cancer's the sign ruled by the moon. And so throughout the time that planets are moving through Cancer, they're ruled by the moon, which is changing signs every 2.5 days. And so our sense of Venus in Cancer, we could be attracted to softer, more nurturing, more emotional um, experiences. We could feel ourselves like yearning for greater self care and comfort, for soothing, for nourishing, taking care of ourselves and others. Um, Venus in Cancer is a very, very loving and caretaking kind of an energy. Uh, so you might feel like you want to show those you love, those in your life, that you care for them, you're paying attention, you're responding to their needs. Um, but know that as Venus is moving through Cancer, we all have, like we're all wanting to draw in that. We're all attracted to like, what's more comfortable? How can my life feel more soothing and nourishing and um, softer, gentler, more tender? All those kinds of qualities. With Mercury in Cancer, Mercury is the mind, our tends to be our logical processor in the watery intuitive sign of Cancer. And I feel like Cancer Mercury is able to really blend the heart and the mind, or the emotional intuitive and the logical expressive. And so I think this is an energy to lean into, as you might feel like you're the moon and Venus, and that might be feeling like pulling you towards that emotional, intuitive, even teary or sensitive. Mercury in Cancer can kind of help translate that to the mind. Mercury is the messenger god, so you might think of the messenger god going between your logical thinking brain and your feeling heart center. Um, so with the sun moving into Cancer on Thursday. Then we'll have Sun, Venus, Mercury in Cancer. And as these planets enter Cancer, they are in a conversation with Pluto over at the first degrees of Aquarius. And this is an interesting astrological conversation. It's called the inconjunct. It's 150 degrees of the zodiac. And it's really one of adjustment. It's really like it's one, so 150 is one sign away from the opposite. So the opposite sign to Cancer is Capricorn, and then Aquarius is one sign over. So it's sort of a like the dog tilting its head, like, what's going on? And so that deep transformation around how we are conceiving of meaning in our lives, what we see as the way things are interconnected, our belief systems, the constructs of like our intellectual understanding of things, is in a like time to adjust with, okay, but what are our more like our inner needs and our inner feelings, and how do we take that into consideration in our lives? So the day after solstice, so on Friday the 21st, we have a full moon in Capricorn. We will actually have two full moons in Capricorn, one in June and one in July. And this is a shifting of the lunar cycle from having in the polarities. We've been in a cycle where we have the full moon first and then the new moon. And with full moons in Capricorn, we switch back to having within the polarities, we'll have the new moon first and then the full moon, which feels to me, it's a more, it's easier to feel into for me than being in the cycle where we had our new moon in Gemini, and then the full moon will be in Capricorn. And Capricorn is one over from the opposite sign of Gemini. And so we've been in this cycle, the whole calendar year so far, where it's been like this. And so it takes a little bit more adjustment to understand, like, oh, from the intentions of Gemini, where we talked about newness and curiosity and variety and experiences and trying, experimenting with things. That new moon was conjunct Venus. So it's like, what am I enjoying now? What's appealing? What's drawing me towards it? Like that kind of questioning and coming into fullness in Capricorn. And to me, this is like a full moon might reveal to you, like, what are the areas of your life or the ideas that have come up that you feel like taking seriously, or that you feel like putting into form or expressing or really making something solid out of an idea or a thing. Also, just sort of questions of how do you hold yourself accountable, responsible? How do you create sort of that plan to succeed, or that plan to accomplish things? Very Capricorn energy of maturity. The Capricorn Cancer axis is often called the parental axis. So energies of the archetype of mother, the archetype of father, that foundation of family energy, of our inner, our nurturing of our bodies and our minds and our emotions. It's often, considered like the mothering archetype, and the fathering archetype sort of preparing us to be, adults out in the world, to find our way in our communities and in culture, and to find our work in the world and to guide us in that kind of way, an archetypal energy. So I'm not talking about our personal moms and dads here. And our personal moms and dads may have had roles that align with the archetypes, and they may have, switched or shared, or, some variation of how those archetypal energies were held for you. And our work as we evolve, as we grow up, is to be more in touch with what those archetypes are within us, and working with the astrology, paying attention to the sun and the moon and the cycle of of the lunar cycle can help us really tap into those archetypes, find them in ourselves, and nurture them, bring them alive, help them grow and develop within us. You might not have planets in Cancer or Capricorn to be exploring during this full moon or even during this Cancer season, but we'll have the energy available in the cosmos, and we all have all 12 archetypes of the zodiac within us. Um, and I'm really deepening in my practice with people, in readings for people, in having a focus that I'm calling nurture your nature, like knowing who you are, what's your natural essence, your natural way of being, as seen in your birth chart, as a map of your soul and your being. How can you take care of yourself in that way? How can you nurture and help grow the qualities of your sun sign, of your moon sign? How can you be aware of your rising sign and know that that's part of how you meet the world, greet the world, and how people first perceive you? How can you understand and nurture your Mercury sign? Do you have a mutable Mercury that is fast paced and likes to explore lots and lots of ideas? Do you have a water sign Mercury that is in touch with intuition and emotion as well as logic? Do you have a really fast fire sign Mercury that gets inspiration and quick pace of communication or even blurting out expression? Or do you have an air sign Mercury that makes the connections, that seeks the data points and the experiences and puts them together and um, loves moving in the air realm of the mind and communication? So knowing these things about yourself, I know on these videos I talk mostly about the current astrology because we're all in that energy together. But I really believe the core of it is understanding ourselves through our own chart and through the placements of the planets in the zodiac and in the houses of our charts. So we know ourselves more deeply, more intimately, and that then we can, and here's the Capricorn Cancer, we can take more responsibility for taking care of ourselves, for bringing out our strengths, for working with the inner dynamics that we may experience as weaknesses or challenges or insecurities. We all have some of that, right? It's human. But part of being able to evolve and grow and mature is the self-awareness and the intimacy with parts of self that then we can nurture, we can help to grow, we can help to meet our own needs by knowing what they are. So I invite you during this time with Venus and Mercury in Cancer, upcoming month of Cancer season with the sun moving through the sign of Cancer, to really find ways of also still calling in that Gemini curiosity. We have Jupiter there. Who am I? How can I be more aware of the parts of myself? How can I help myself heal and grow and develop and mature and really be on my life path? And if you would like help on that path or help on reading that map, that's what I love to do. I love to be able to show you parts of yourself, reflect your essence back to you through the astrology chart, and to help you come up with ways of really supporting yourself in your own growth and evolution. Um, I'm available for one-on-one sessions, astrology readings with life coaching blended in. And I'm also working in the Patreon group, which is a wonderful small group at this point, with Eilea Lichny as bringing her Gestalt therapy and tarot gifts and some other really wise and beautiful women in that group. If you would like to join us, we're having a call this Sunday to talk about the Capricorn and Cancer energies in the Capricorn full moon. And that call will be led, I'll be leading with Erin Middleton, who's an incredible artist and compassion keys practitioner. And this compassion key work, I think, is really aligned with Cancer and Capricorn, helping us really develop that inner rapport with compassion for parts of ourselves. So join us on Sunday if you're curious about what we're up to in the group. You're welcome as our guest. I'll put a link to join us as a guest. If you've been as a guest before and you're ready to dive in and join the group, join us on Patreon, Stars and Cards, and we will see you on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific to 11:30. Hope you can join us and hope you are having a beautiful beginning to the summer season, wherever you are in the Northern Hemisphere, or a beginning to the beautiful winter season if you are in the Southern Hemisphere. Please leave a comment. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share and invite your friends to tune in also if you find this helpful and interesting. All right, take care. Have a great rest of your day, whatever day it is. Goodbye.